Now, if ministers go beyond the policy directives and now go all the way to the staff, Mr. Speaker, then the NCA has to pack bag and baggage and go and sit at the Ministry of Communications, so that the minister will run the ministry and run the NCA, run GIFEC, run NITA, run all the agencies. Now, this is not properly situated within the meaning of what we call constitutionalism. Government according to predetermined rules. The rules are there. The minister has set his own rules and is running amok. Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Communication must be called to order. Immediately so. Now, this is a minister, when he was on this side of the aisle, and some radio stations were directed to be closed down by the NCA and not the minister. Mr. Speaker, the minister who was then deputy ranking for communications, and I was a member of the communications committee, who summoned the minister. And we requested the minister to direct NCA. All manner of things took place in this house, in this hallowed chamber at the committee level, and then the press conferences that he was holding. How can that same person transmogrify himself from a defender now to the adversary? Mr. Speaker, did we reset to do things worse than they happened before? What was the essence of reset? We said we should reset in order to do things right. Now, where does the minister derive his power to ask the radio stations to be closed down, when the powers that he has under the NCA Act do not come anywhere close to what he's doing? So, Mr. Speaker, what the minister is doing is to probably later on request that every promotion that will take place at NCA must be brought to the minister for him to authorize before. Even staff salaries would have to be sent to the minister for him to pay. Mr. Speaker, it looks like we have an Idi Amin in the making. We have an Idi Amin in the making. This house will not watch for an Idi Amin to emerge at the Ministry of Communication. And we are sending the signal to the Minister for Communications to relax. To relax. The exuberance is getting too much.
Hold on. Yes, leader. Yes,
Mr. Speaker, I like Idi Amin. He's a nice guy. But where Idi Amin is painted as a dictator, and then a minister of state is likened to Idi Amin, it becomes an inappropriate referral of the minister. So I beg you, you can make your point without alleging that an Idi Amin is emerging at the Ministry of Communication. I'm just happy that he is admitting that this is not the first time a radio station is being shut down, and that even when the NPP was in office, radio stations were being shut down. But please don't refer to the minister as Idi Amin.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, member, the leader of the House is the one who is putting words in my mouth. I never mentioned a dictator. I said Idi Amin, probably because of their body size. I'm making reference to, so there could be similarities in the two of them. I haven't said he's a dictator. So, Mr. Speaker,
hold on again. Yeah, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think that he ought to apologize to our colleague who is not here. To body shame him is completely unacceptable. How would you take it if you say you are as short as Nanado? How would you feel? No, how would you? You see, someone is rising up. Mr. Speaker, someone is rising up. And that is the reason why you shouldn't body shame him. And I think that you should do the needful. The list that he's not here. I will. Hold on. If you feel, hold on. If you feel offended because I describe you to be as short as Nanado, I sincerely apologize and withdraw. So will you do the needful? Will you do the needful?
Honorable Mutala. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Hold on. You get up.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, take off that reference.
I've withdrawn. He asked me whether I would do the needful, and I said that if he feels offended, I withdraw entirely. So I expect him to do the same.
Okay.
I expect him to do the same.
Very well. Honorable Tampuli, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Do away with that. The body sizing, I don't think.
Oh, Mr. Speaker.
It will be offensive. It will be offensive. So you.
Mr. Speaker, very often you will find some matters are presented to the public in what you would describe as sheep in wolf skin. All right, Mr. Speaker, in this particular case, the actions of the minister comes in as a wolf as it is.
Honorable,
it's an act that is an act of honorable members to the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Honorable member, it is an action. Honorable, what is that? Contaminates. Mr. Speaker, what the minister did.
Honorable Tampuli.
What the minister did.
Honorable Tampuli, are you listening to me? Please, withdraw that.
Mr. Speaker, I concede.
Honorable members, why?
Mr. Speaker, I offer my concession.
Well.
I offer my concession. Mr. Speaker.
Why? I have asked him to withdraw that statement. Please withdraw that statement. We withdraw it effectively.
Mr. Speaker, we didn't hear the word withdraw. He's used some strange word called concession. We don't know anything about concession. Honorable, withdraw, so you withdraw.
Well. Honorable, please withdraw. Let's have.
Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Majority Leader, sometime in 2007.
I am asking you to withdraw, please.
Oh, Mr. Speaker, I will do the needful. Mr. Speaker, I will do the needful. I just want to lay a foundation. Allow. Mr. Speaker, sometime in 2007, the Honorable Majority Leader was brought to the law school by his good friend Professor Raymond Atuguba to teach me. Incidentally, he taught me lawmaking process that day. So even if I won't withdraw, but for the fact that he has intervened, Mr. Speaker, I will withdraw because of him. I will withdraw, not because of you. Mr. Speaker, the action of the Minister for Communications. Mr. Speaker, the action of the Minister for Communications, if allowed to stand, is going to set a very bad precedent. And one day when the tables turn, which it will turn in 2028, Mr. Speaker, they are likely to face the wrath of another minister from our side who is likely to do the same thing. So this act, Mr. Speaker, it violates and contaminates the Constitution. It contaminates the NCA Act and other extant laws of the Republic of Ghana. And Mr. Speaker, I endorse the recommendation that have been made by the Member of Parliament from Christ. So I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well. Yes, Honorable Professor Yinsu. Leader, what is it? Okay.
Speaker, I think this is not fair. The Honorable Member for Kwesimintim, he gets up and shouts. Speaker, our side, tries to comport ourselves. Speaker, I think some caution, and the majority leader should also talk to his people. When somebody from our side gets up to speak, and they get up and shout, it's not right. Speaker, that was the reason why I got up to catch your attention. The majority leader should speak to their side. when somebody from our side is speaking, he can't get up and shout. A typical example is our colleague, my respected colleague from Kwesimi team. He has done it on 2 occasions today. That is not parliamentary. And I respect him. He shouldn't do that. Speaker, take a particular attention to that. He was asked to withdraw. He has withdrawn.
Thank you very much.
He shouldn't just get up and shout. It's not right.
Thank you very much. Professor Yesu, please take the floor. Minister, sit down.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to make this statement. Mr. Speaker, the issue in discussion is about body shaming, and I think that the Honorable must withdraw and apologize to the Honorable Minister. Mr. Speaker, as women, we go through body shaming a lot, and it is a big gender issue that needs to be addressed. If the Honorable Minister had an issue with the Honorable Communications Minister, I truly believe that he could have addressed it without talking about his body habitus. It is people have mental health issues precisely from body shaming, and I truly believe that he needs to apologize and withdraw. Thank you.
That issue, okay, if you have concluded, that's fine. So, no, let me give it to
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you very much for the opportunity for my voice to count on this occasion. I commend my brother for bringing this matter very respectfully to the attention of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, when a Minister of State, whose business, among others, should be creating jobs for the people of this country, is given directive that is not only going to let Ghanaians lose jobs, but government lose revenue through taxation, then, Mr. Speaker, the minister is committing an economic sabotage. He is committing an economic sabotage that businesses set up by Ghanaians to undertake communication business. Mr. Speaker, he is saying that should be closed down. And it's very important that we look at the fact that the minister, when he was sworn into office in less than a month, is yet to create any job for the people of this country apart from jobs that he's revoking. Mr. Speaker, we should take serious interest in this matter, especially because the infraction is against an act which was passed by this House. An act, very respectfully, that this house vested power in the National Communications Authority. The minister is usurping it. Mr. Speaker, on all fours, on all fronts, the minister's action is against the interest of this country and is worthy of interrogation by this House. Mr. Speaker, the attention of this House has been drawn to the fact that the minister's power under the National Communications Authority is only limited to policy. Very respectful. It's not for nothing that, Mr. Speaker, in creating the power or in creating the institution of NCA, Mr. Speaker, we deliberately limited it that way. Mr. Speaker, it was also because we're mindful of Article 23 of the Constitution. We're mindful of Article 296 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, this action is very, very bad and should not be encouraged. Mr. Speaker, we risk setting bad precedent that the minister is closing businesses, instructing them.
The leader of the House.
I'm not done.
Mr. Speaker, all those who have spoken have not heard anybody read the official communication of the minister closing any particular radio station.
I hope I'll come to you so that...
No. It's important. When you misinform the House, when you mislead the House, I don't have to wait till it's my turn to correct the records. None of them has laid in this House the communication directing the suspension of operations of these radio stations. None of them. That is the minister's statement. That's the minister's statement. What does the statement say, Mr. Speaker? The statement says that the directive to shut down the station is issued in accordance with Section 13(1)(e) of the Electronic Communications Act, which empowers the National Communications Authority to suspend or revoke frequency authorizations in the interest of national security, public order, or the public interest. So who suspended? Who revoked it? The National Communication Authority. The National Communication Authority. It is the National Communication Authority. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, and that was done based on a report of the Regional Security Council.
Honorable Leader, respectfully, I wouldn't like to cut you short, but please, I'll give you the opportunity as leaders to conclude the. So let me, Honorable Menchia South, if you can conclude.
Mr. Speaker, it is even worse. The elucidation given on this matter by the distinguished majority leader, the Venerable, even makes this matter worse. Because, Mr. Speaker, there is an admission that that power belongs to the NCA. Nevertheless, there is a directive compelling the NCA to take a certain path. Mr. Speaker, when we all know that the NCA, the minister's power as regards the NCA is limited to policy. Mr. Speaker, it is without a doubt that that is not the policy. Or, Mr. Speaker, are we saying that the policy going forward will be to shut down radio stations? Is that, Mr. Speaker, are we saying that the policy going forward will be for the minister to be directing NCA to shut down radio stations? Mr. Speaker, is that going to be the policy? They should let us know. Mr. Speaker. Address. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. In concluding, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in bringing my submission to an end, Mr. Speaker, most of these things are happening because there's still no committees in place. Mr. Speaker, if there were to be a committee in place that will have an oversight responsibility over the National Communications Authority, Mr. Speaker, it appears that the delay in constituting committees in this House, Mr. Speaker, is to enable them is to enable the majority and the ruling government, Mr. Speaker, to evade accountability. Mr. Speaker, left to me alone, my position will be that even the vetting processes, Mr. Speaker, should be halted until committees, very respectfully, are constituted. It appears that the delay in constituting committees is enabling, is facilitating, is giving the majority and the ruling government the energy, Mr. Speaker, to commit illegalities, just as the communication minister is doing. So, Mr. Speaker, very respectfully, it is very critical that this matter, Mr. Speaker, is interrogated and the illegality resolved, especially since it concerns the breach of a law that this House has passed. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. I'll come to leadership. Leadership. Yes, let me start with minority leader then, or you want to start? Yes, minority chief whip.
Speaker, I think as a House we need to interrogate this matter properly. The Honorable David Sopoku has brought very important subject matter. We all know the essence of checks and balances, and Article 23 of the 1982 Constitution, what it talks about the need for administrative body to respect laws in our country. I thought that the minister in his early days will focus on the promise and the manifesto of the NDC. Definitely, the Ministry of Communication should be looking at the cost of data. Certainly, they should be looking at mobile network connectivity. Certainly, they should be looking at their digital economy and innovation, e-governance services. These are the narrative that should be engaging his attention. I am surprised that out of the blue, the closure of radio station has become a matter of importance to the minister. It's quite unfortunate. What are we seeking to do? The maker of the statement is basically bringing the matter to the fore for us to engage these matters. If indeed he's within the law, of course, then let's speak to the fact. As far as we understand, and the fact before us, we think the minister has gone in excess of his powers. That is what we are saying. He's gone beyond the excess of his powers. As we got, if you contain me, let me just read portions of the release. The Honorable Minister for Communication, and it is captioned Enforcement Action Against Unauthorized Broadcasting Operations. Amongst others, the Honorable Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation has directed the Acting Director General of the National Communication Authority. In what capacity is he directing the NCA? To take immediate enforcement action against the following entities for operating without valid blah blah blah, and goes on. Speaker, the relevant word there is directing. As whether the minister has those powers. We need to, that is what we are seeking to interrogate. As we are an arm of government. And interestingly, the minister is a member of this house. Earlier speakers have referenced his comment when similar actions were taken in times past and the position he took. And his position now smacks of hypocrisy. Because this is the thrust of the matter. The minister must come to this house. He was approved by this house. He was given the mandate by this house. He must come and report to this house. We need to hear from him where he's getting those powers to direct the NCA to take such draconian actions. As a house, we must come together and invite the minister for him to appear and come and do a proper representation before the house and for us to interrogate these actions. We are building a democracy. And it's important we learn from incidents that have happened before. And I hear people say, during your time, you closed down Radio Go. These are baseless defense. I hear people say, you closed down radio stations, you closed down Radio Go. Even if it is the case, must we repeat the mistakes? We mustn't do that. We must move ahead as a nation. In the context of your resetting, you said you were going to reset Ghana, and Ghanaians are giving you the mandate. Speaker, without adding more, I think that the minister should focus on what can change the narrative. E-governance, reduction of cost of data, building network connectivity. Ghanaians are so worried about network connectivity, and this is what should be attracting his attention. Speaker, I think we will employ your consequential directives that ASAP, the Honorable Minister for Communication, should be programmed. As we shouldn't go beyond Friday. He must come before this house, tell us the reasoning behind his action, and come and show this house where he's drawing his powers by directing the NCA to take such illegal actions against certain entities. Speaker, without adding more, I think anybody who wants to comment, and earlier on, the majority leader tried to catch your attention. He was reading something else. He should quote. This is a copy. And Speaker, I'm ready to tender this. I want to tender it. He should quote from the release from the minister, and then we can make a proper debate on this subject matter. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Let me...
Table office. I want to tender this.
Let me invite the majority leader.
Leader, you should have a copy. I want to tender it, and let it be a reference.
Let me give the floor to majority leader to also comment on the statement. But before the majority leader takes the floor, let me acknowledge at the public gallery some visitors from the United States Air War College students, as I said, they are from United States, and I believe they are in the country to do one or two business or to study one or two issues relating to Ghana. So, honorable members, I will refer you, honorable members, you are welcome to Ghana, and you are welcome to the chamber of the legislature. So we are in the process of making statements which will enhance our governance. So you are welcome once again. Yes, majority leader, you may take the floor now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think that this is a very simple matter, and I'm surprised that the very valuable time of this House is spent discussing a matter that is so simple and straightforward. Mr. Speaker, this is the basis of the statement and the comments that have been made so far. I ask for your kind permission to read it, just to read it. And I'm happy that we have people who understand English listening. Mr. Speaker, listen carefully. It says that the Honorable Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations has directed the Acting Director General of the National Communications Authority, NCA, to take immediate enforcement action against the following entities for operating without valid frequency authorizations. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, directing the Acting Director General of an agency under the Minister to take immediate enforcement action against the following entities for operating without valid frequency authorizations. Mr. Speaker, what I hear from the other side is not that it is the case that they had license. They are not insisting that they had license. They are also not denying that they operated without frequency authorization. They are not denying. I haven't heard them deny the whole day. I haven't heard them deny that they operated without appropriate frequency authorization. Mr. Speaker, I remember that one of the oaths that we swore in this House is to uphold and enforce the laws of this country. Even if the minister had not directed, I expected you honorable members of parliament, to direct any officer who is supervising radio stations that are operating without frequency authorization. You, as patriotic citizens, as lawmakers, you have made a law that says that to operate a radio station, you must have frequency authorization. You made the law. And somebody is running a radio station, operating it without frequency authorization. And the minister dutifully directs that the law should be enforced. And you come to this house and say that we shouldn't close early and have lunch because of that matter. Mr. Speaker, they are asking how did the minister know? Because they don't know that on this side, we appointed people who are so competent that nothing will pass by them. Mr. Speaker, the minister is so competent that they didn't think he would know that those stations were operating without frequency authorization. And when the minister gets to know within 10 days of sitting in that office, they are surprised. They are mesmerized. We have the men and the women who are capable of doing the job. Within 10 days, they got to know. And he's enforcing the law. I don't understand why you are complaining. A minister is simply directing that enforce the law. What do you expect a minister to do? So please, I'm surprised that you will make the minister the subject of castigation, of unnecessary attacks, trying to question his competence, when all the minister is saying in this communication is that Director General enforce the law. Because these stations are operating without frequency authorization. How is that an offense? How is that a matter for which the minister should be summoned to this house to come and answer? Are you trying to intimidate ministers and prevent them from doing their jobs? Is that what you are trying to do? The minister will shut down the stations today. Tomorrow he will shut them down.
You made this on the 4th of September in the heat of campaign, but would you say that you could have been more measured in the language you use on first paragraph?
Honorable Chair, with hindsight, I must admit that the language was rather harsh. I'm grateful.
Thank you very much.
Then you have a case. So please, Mr. Speaker, I think that there is no basis for inviting the minister to come to this house. The minister has done no wrong. As the statement indicates, they had no frequency authorization, so they were operating illegally, and it's the duty of the minister to enforce the law. And he has done that. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, please. We said 2-2, and the leaders have spoken. I don't see why we should go back to members, please. So we take the last statement, and after the last statement, we have a closed sitting with the Foreign Affairs Minister coming to discuss one or two issues with us. So we take the last statement from Dr. Kwame, from Honorable Edem Putusu. Is he in the floor? Yes.
If you may, the statement delivered by Honorable Davis. Speaker, we had invited you.
No, I'm not yielding to that. Let's put a question to him to come and answer some of the irregularities that we think it might have occurred. So let's come by way of question, please. So, Honorable Edem Putusu, please, that's the last statement you are taking for the day. So, even though I think the statement should have read yesterday. The statement should have been read yesterday.
Mr. Speaker, thanks for indulging me. I rise today on behalf of the Ghanaian people to solemnly acknowledge a dark and shameful moment in our nation's history. The overthrow of Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah on 24th February 1966. This day marks not just the removal of Ghana's first president, but a deliberate and orchestrated attack on the sovereignty, vision, and progress of our country. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, he was an African visionary and a global statesman. Independence and sovereignty of the African continent from the yoke of colonialism. His leadership saw Ghana take its place as the first sub-Saharan African nation to gain independence, inspiring a wave of liberation movements across the continent. His vision for economic independence, the creation of state industries, and the dream of a United States of Africa threatened powerful global interests, leading to external interference in our affairs. Mr. Speaker, today we recall with clarity the role of foreign forces, particularly the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA of the United States of America, as contained in the famous book, The Great Deception, in orchestrating the coup that toppled Dr. Nkrumah's government. Declassified documents and historical accounts confirm what many suspected all along, that his removal was not merely an internal matter, but a well-calculated act of imperial subversion. This betrayal was not just against Nkrumah, but against the aspirations of all Ghanaians and Africans. The consequences of that coup were and
is under maintenance. And most of our thermal plants use the gas from Nigeria. Those coming from Takoradi, because the pipeline is being worked on, we cannot bring the product from even Takoradi. And then also, government have made provision for liquid fuel to supplement it. However, there are some plants which are exclusively LPG, which I think that once there's a maintenance work, they may not get the needed gas to power the plants. And then also, I want to add that I listened to my minister on TV, and the West African Pipelines gave the assurance that by the 6th of March, they will be done with their maintenance work. And I believe that once this is done, we will get enough gas to power the thermal plants. And this sense, you will not see it again. At least with my minister in place and myself, we work and make sure that this narrative of Nso will never come up again.
Please. I don't want to argue with my brother. Oh, I follow up. I don't want to argue with my brother, but I like his honesty. That he says we are experiencing some challenges. I wish you well, my brother. I wish you well.
Thank you.
Honorable nominee, I know that you are eloquent, you are competent to answer the questions put before you. But please, stay within what you are here for, and that is being vetted for a deputy minister designated. You are not here to talk about policy issues, because you will support the policies of your substantive minister, so that we can smoothen this process. Just word of advice.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I will invite Honorable Shaibu to do a follow-up on the former Deputy Minister's questions. Honorable Shaibu, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chairman. Honorable nominee, is it the case that the question that the Honorable Minister, the former Deputy Minister asked, is it the case that in the last 2-3 months we have experienced such sorts of interruptions and power on and offs?
Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, respectfully. I think the re-examination.
I haven't given you the floor. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, my very nice chairman. Mr. Chair, I think that my brother, who is a learned colleague, should stop the re-examination. The man there is very capable. The question has been asked, he's going to answer, he's answered them. Please, let's proceed. If we continue like this, we'll keep re-examining people and we won't leave this place. It's just not necessary.
You may answer the question. Honorable nominee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I want to assure my brother that this is something that we even experienced during December. This is not new to us.
Okay. Honorable members, let's have one verdict, please. I'm now going to go to my right and call the Honorable. I'm dealing with subject matter now, so then I'll come back to you. Honorable, you have the floor.
All right. Congratulations, my brother. I have no doubt that you perform to solidify our confidence in you. Well, talking about ECG, which happens to be the main topic of discussions. ECG being the distributor at the last stage of the value chain is confronted with a lot of problems. One has to do with the debt owed by government institutions. That's so crucial. And then also, we talk about billing. Standardized billing. ECG has a problem with the amount of power that is produced and the billing that it does. Tell me, do you think that ECG should go the way of technology in such that from production to distribution, smart grids, using of efficient ways of energy analysis, do you think that the way to go is that to go the way of technology, ensuring that technology is embedded from start to finish in order to ensure that revenue gotten at stage can be used to satisfy all the debt. Do you get my question?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I strongly support the view that technology should be employed, at least to minimize the human interferences in our processes. I believe once it is done that way, some of the challenges that confront ECG can be resolved. Thank you.
Thank you. The prices of electricity in Ghana happens to be one of the highest.
Remember, is this a follow-up question? The next question. All right. So this is your second question. Please go ahead.
Prices of electricity in Ghana there are suggestions that the generation mix, there's a need for us to look at renewable energy, i.e. solar energy and others. What is your view on that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, as you directed, these are issues that mostly the policy side of it I am here to actually be informed from my minister. But I can say that currently Ghana, we have a mixed power generation. So we have a bit of the thermal, we have a bit of the renewables. However, we know that the thermal is quite expensive. So everyone is advocating for the renewable energies, which, if you look at the name of my ministry, Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, and the line of green transition, it relies more on the renewable energy. And I think that we should pursue renewable energy in nuclear and even gas itself, mini dams, and then solar, which is currently something that the ministry is working on. Thank you.
Follow up on that. Honorable nominee, in areas such as the areas of Afajato, we're still talking about energy, cost of energy. Mr. Chairman, it is difficult when electricity is produced in Akosombo and transported all the way to a place like Axim, which makes it so expensive. So in areas where, like Afajato, where there are views that we should look at off-grids, where we don't have to rely so much on the main source of production, would you consider advising the minister that such policy should be pursued?
Thank you. I will consider that.
My last question. Carbon credit. It is a known fact that Africa in general contributes less than 7% to the CO2 production worldwide. But then also, there is this agenda that we, as a nation, as a globe, should move away from fossil fuel. Honorable Minister, Honorable Nominee, how do you advise a developing country like Ghana that has so much oil that wants to bet on it?
Hydrocarbons, which we cannot allow to be stranded. We are still also pursuing the renewables as well. So do the blend and make sure that at least at the end of the day, we achieve a net zero carbon. That is in the long term.
Follow-up question. Thank you, Honorable Nominee. This issue about carbon credits, it is a platform where developing countries like...
Honorable, hold on. Did you say a follow-up question of which? Of the last one. Okay. Sure. Okay, go ahead.
Honorable Nominee, still on carbon credits, there is so much funds available when it comes to carbon credits. I've been thinking that instead of just planting trees, what would you say that we consider people like rubber farmers, rubber plantation farmers, and other palm oil plantation, palm tree plantation farmers, where we give support to these people? So just instead of just planting trees, we look at commercial tree planting, which will generate funds for the farmer at the end of the month, as opposed to just trees. Do you think it's a good idea to look at that option too?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think in Ghana we have the Tree Crop Authority, which is focused on the planting of trees for commercial purpose or for food. So these are some of the things that we are already doing in Ghana. Even though I know my ministry is actually not into that, there's a ministry responsible for that. But I support the idea that whatever tree planting that we intend doing, we should not just look at it just for the trees or something, but it should also have an immediate economic benefit to the people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. I now want to go to Honourable George Abuachi on my left. Abuaji on my left. You have the floor, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable nominee, congratulations. A very good friend and a classmate. As you are aware, investment to upstream sector is declining. Do you anticipate any changes in the fiscal regime governing the upstream petroleum sector to promote investment?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, as a Deputy Minister, I will assist my Minister that whatever we have to do to entice a lot more investors into the upstream, we do that. And I believe that currently there are some agreements that we may have to look at it, and also the whole regime may have to be reviewed. Once we are doing the review, it's automatically that things that has to do with the fiscal regime would also be considered. So I'll work closely with my Minister to ensure that whatever we have to do to make sure that upstream becomes very attractive, we'll pursue that. And my Minister, through this, I have listened to him on radio, and even when he came for his vetting, indicated that he will put things in place to attract investors into the upstream.
Honorable Chairman, this is a follow-up question.
Sure, go ahead.
There are serious production shortfalls in all our oil fields. The Jubilee field has gone past its half-life, and there are decommissioning plans in the offing. What plans do you have or propose to boost the output of existing oil fields?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I earlier indicated, this power they all has to do with the policy issues, which I will work with my Minister. However, I will say that there are also equally a lot of wells that have not been worked on. Our government is looking at getting on board so many wells so that we can improve upon our upstream production. Currently, I think, as you said, I looked at the numbers and it wasn't encouraging. We went as high as almost about 179,000. Now we are moving around 89,000 barrels a day, which is not encouraging.
Yeah. Okay. You still have any? Energy efficiency and conservation are key factors in a country's development. What are the strategies to achieve it? With your support to the Minister, energy conservation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With energy conservation and efficiency, I think the most effective strategy that will be employed is education. And then also the implementation of the existing regulations in that area. So I would actually support my Minister for us to enhance the education for effective energy use. And then also, in terms of the regulations that are currently in place, we'll make sure that it's fully implemented. And then encourage people to use new appliances. I think that's also another way of ensuring energy efficiency. Currently, I've heard a new thing that they call response demand, which is when people will be, whilst we educate, people will learn how to use energy or power less even within the peak period, and this can help our energy security.
My last question. Thank you. The generation mix of this country have majority of the power plants being peaking plants. Per your government energy policy, do you have plans to include a base load plant to bring down cost of power?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I listened to my Minister, Honorable John Jilapo, at his vetting. He indicated that his administration and the NDC government will consider the introduction of nuclear energy or nuclear power, which is one source of base load. And it is also very, in terms of costs, it's very affordable, and that can translate and help our prices to be lower. So I must say that I would encourage my Minister to pursue the area of bringing on board the base load generation, which is the nuclear and even mini dams that we can invest in to also help our energy mix.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman.
Just hold on a second. Leader, you're welcome. I'm going to suggest that you take your right place. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. A very good friend. I wish you well. We will meet.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you're done. Okay, I'm going to revert back to my rights and invite Honorable Umar to take the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman, for this opportunity. Honorable nominee, congratulations. I wish you well, but I have a question regarding the trends of power, price structure in Ghana, and looking at the cost. Should we expect new tariffs?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I would like to find out from the honorable member, new tariff as in high, low, or stable. Thank you.
Any.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the tariff in Ghana, mostly from the little information I've had, indicates that about 60% of it is made up of generational costs. And then other factors are also added to it. I believe that if we are able to manage the cost of generation, it is very likely that the cost of generation, if we're able to manage it and reduce it, and then also when we are able to also work on the distribution and then collection losses in the system, it will help the prices or the tariff to come down. However, if we're not able to do this, it will be a problem for us. But that's where I come in as a deputy minister. I'll work closely with my minister and ensure that whichever effective strategies we have to put in place to make sure that we get a very relatively low generational cost and also work efficiently to reduce the distribution and then collection losses, it will help bring the tariff down. Thank you.
You have a follow-up or next question?
Next question.
Okay, please. Go ahead.
Honorable nominee, this question, I don't need any explanation. No details. I just want no or yes. And I'm going to read. As a deputy minister, you are coming to support. Are you, one, ready to support your minister to initiate the Light Up Ghana project to support the 24-hour economy by resuming the Universal Street Lighting Program? Yes or no?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will support my minister.
Thank you. Are you ready to support your minister to promptly resolve all disputes between upstream oil and gas players and the government of Ghana?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will support my minister.
Are you ready to support your minister to apply ESLA for its intended purposes?
Honorable member, if that's a follow-up question, that will not be allowed. Please ask your substantive, because you've already asked a follow-up question. Please, go to your last question. Thank you.
Thank you. Are you ready to apply ESLA, support your minister to apply ESLA, that is ESLA, for its intended purposes?
Yes, I'll support my minister.
I wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable member. I would like to stay on my rights. Then before I come to honorable, you take it, okay. All right, so then we'll exhaust the side, and then you take those. Okay, so I will exhaust the right-hand side, and then I'll give the leader the opportunity to come in. And hopefully he will wrap up from his end, and I can wrap the whole meeting up. Thank you. When it comes, yeah, because I didn't know you wanted to. Yeah, okay. So please, you have the...
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Congratulations, Deputy Minister. In the previous government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the then Minister Finance attempted to transition ministry, departments, and agencies to use the solar energy to reduce the government bill that has to be paid. What are you going to do to, push for this to take place? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is something that my minister has indicated that he's going to pursue. That is, government institutions, including even parliament, are going to be given, or they're going to install solar panels in government institutions, which includes parliament. So I will support my minister to pursue this.
On this note, Mr. Chair, congratulations. I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me get some understanding here from the leader. Leader, you did say that you will wrap, that exclude Honorable Patrick Boama. All right, okay, fair enough. Honorable Patrick Boama, you have the floor now.
Thank you very much, Chair. And congratulations, Richard. And I'm sure the Methodist Church will be proud of you. You know about Ghana Oil Company Limited. It's an agency under your ministry. They recently constructed a $45 million bitumen plant in Tema to reduce the importation of bitumen into the country, which stands about 11-point-something billion $1 a year. I don't know your briefing. Were you briefed on this plant and how you are going to increase the production level of bitumen through that facility to assist with the road construction in this country? I don't know if you got the right briefing on this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I have not had briefing on this.
Smart one. then you need proper briefing on that. Because I've seen some appointments being made to GOIL and the Board of GOIL and what have you.
I will protect you if you agree to conclude.
Chairman, am I being harassed?
I wouldn't do that to you. Please feel free and go ahead.
I wish the nominee well, Chairman.
Thank you.
Patrick Boama, as reasonable a man as you've always been. Honorable Ladi, you have the floor now. And then after you, we'll come to the leader.
I will not be tempted. You see now.
Honorable, go ahead with your question.
Thank you, Chairman. Congratulations, my brother. There is an issue I have observed, and it's quite worrying. It looks like many times it eludes every government, not only this. The issue of our institutions. When I talk of our institutions, especially our tertiary and secondary schools, you tend to realize that sometimes they have a lot of electricity bills to pay, and it's very difficult for them. That's giving the masters, the principals, what have you, a big headache. Sometimes even they get cut off and they suffer a lot. I know solar power may look expensive. As a deputy, if fortunately you are given the nod, will you consider suggesting to your minister that at least our tertiary institutions and the secondary schools should be given some solar lighting opportunity, so that it would reduce this problem of ours? Because most of our institutions, I believe that they can get enough sunshine to get solar lights working. Will you make that suggestion to your minister?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I will suggest and then support my minister in this regard.
If I tell you that excellent, again, I'll get another boost, but I'll say it excellent. Our markets, where most of us women, sometimes we go to the market, we even stay into the night, and we also go very early. Many times the women get there when it's quite dark in the morning, and they leave very late. But you realize there is no enough lighting in the markets. No street lights. The places are not properly wired. So sometimes you have market fires, and sometimes even they lose some items because they tend not to see or know when there is darkness. Some of the things that may be pilfered away or whatsoever. Will you suggest to your minister, when you get the nod, that our markets should be taken care of? There should be enough lighting systems, street lights, all over the market, and that the stores in the markets that use electricity should be looked into, and the women should be supported to ensure that wiring to their stores are properly done. Because you may go and see one pole with more than 20 connections, and when there is any least mistake, the place gets engulfed in fire. Would you suggest this to the minister, and will you follow up? Because I will follow you and ask you about it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I will do that. I will actually suggest to my minister and will also make sure I follow up on it.
More than excellent. I'll add a 0 to the 100 to make it 1,000%. And I won't say bye-bye, because if I say it and add to the excellent, it will be another story. Be ready. I will come to your office and follow up on these things to prompt you that you have to ensure that you remind your minister about this. I wish you all the best in all your endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Much, Honorable Member, Honorable Leader, with your indulgence, I want to continue to stay on the right. And ask Honorable Shai to come in. Then after that, I'll cede the floor to you. Thank you.
Chairman, I'm exceedingly grateful. Honorable nominee, congratulations one more time. I want us to go back to Goyle. And this time around, whether you have the briefing or not, because you have been a player in the downstream, you will have a fair idea. What is the state of Goyle as we speak today, from your experience on the downstream industry?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, even though I've been in the downstream for some time, at least for the last 5 years I've been in Parliament, I've not actually been following what goes on in Goyle. Goyle is a listed company. This year their accounts are not out. So if it's out, I'll be able to speak to it because I've not received any briefing. But if the accounts are out, at least based on that, as an accountant, I'll be able to tell the performance of Goyle. Thank you.
Thank you. One other critical one, and I know that it affects most legislators seated here, those of us who represent rural communities. Rural water supply has become a big issue. And even though when you manage to get a borehole to the communities, now electricity is extended to those communities. We try to do connectivity to mechanize those boreholes for the communities. Payment of electricity bill on those mechanized boreholes has been a big issue. I know that street lighting is charged to the entire generality of the population. Is that the case?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Now, mechanized borehole for rural communities is for the entire community. Why would we be billing the community for, a service that is akin to a street light for the entire community? Would you suggest to your minister, or take this up when you get to office, that mechanization of rural communities is not for commercial purpose, it is for the community usage? Would you suggest that this be treated like street lighting, and that you don't bill those to the communities?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I think it's a fantastic idea you have actually shared here. I would actually also recommend it to my minister, and then we'll see how best we can take this thing on. Thank you.
On this note, Mr. Speaker, let me wish my good friend the very best. I know you will do well at the ministry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. At this stage, you want to ask the questions? Please, see the questions. Please, I'll call in the leader to take the floor. Leader, you have the floor.
How many master's degrees do you have?
Mr. Chairman, I have one, and I have another one. I'm awaiting graduation.
Are you done with school, or you are still on your project work?
Mr. Chairman, I'm done with school.
Have you submitted all academic work for assessment?
Mr. Chairman, I've done so.
The assessment of your project work has not been marked and result published, correct?
Mr. Chairman, it's been marked and it's been published.
Can you provide evidence of same to this committee with the leave of chairman?
Honorable nominee, I grant you the leave.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll do so.
One of your referees, you provided reference. You provided 2 referees on your CV. One of them says you are opinionated. What do you say to that?
Mr. Chairman, I don't share in that view because I'm not.
But you provided his name, not us. You provided the name of an individual to be your referee for the purposes of this vetting. And the person says you are opinionated when the records of his knowledge of you was sought. And you are challenging that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, if I have to respond, I would say that, as it is said, opinion is something that that's how people see things. So if that is how we see it, I will also assess myself and try to do the right thing.
Yeah, but he has worked with you, and you, for all the people in the world, you felt that these are people who know you well. Are you suggesting that you have a disagreement with the view expressed that you opinionated?
Mr. Chairman, as I earlier said, that is the view somebody has seen and actually.
Not somebody, your own referee.
So that is the view my referee has shared. I have actually taken notes.
I take it in good faith. Say so.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. So continue. I'm aiding you with the phrase. I take it in good faith.
So, Mr. Chairman, I take it in good faith.
You're going to be a deputy minister. Your substantive minister is very assertive. If you carry this opinionated posture to him, you will suffer. I've been in government before. You'll be reading newspapers. That is why I want you to have the opportunity of, making a statement on that. Because this is coming from your own referee. You want to be the deputy minister who will be reading newspapers? Is that what you want?
No, Mr. Chairman.
What do you say to this reference, character reference position that you opinionated? The nation is listening to you. Your minister is listening to you.
Mr. Chairman, as I earlier indicated, I take it in good faith, and I'll try and work towards it.
You are, however, also described as being a go-getter, responsible and diligent. What assurances have you to your minister regarding these positive traits?
Mr. Chairman, I assure my minister that I'm going to employ all these traits.
Now, Asin Gomwa Brofiedu, where is that located? Is it the one on the Straight Road, or that's differently located elsewhere?
Mr. Chairman, that is on the Ankamud Mankasim Road.
And that's where Daddy comes from, correct?
Yes, sir.
But you don't come from there, do you?
Mr. Chairman, I come from Gomwa Sempin. That is my mother's hometown.
Now, what is the state of the roads in Gomwa? What did you say? Sempini? Asempini. Answer me in Gomwa. Your response to this question should be in Gomwa.
Hold on. Yes. Hold on a second. Honorable Leader, if you want to go the local language way, may I also remind you that our standing order suggests that it's translated so that it can be captured in the report. Otherwise, it will not be in the report. So what is your option?
No, Chairman. We can assist in the translation. Otherwise, the record can be transcribed. For that to be done, it's not a problem at all. I mean, this is to the nation. Brofuno ya dosu. Then it's constituent. Once we there, oba hano, gumunyampa, oti gumwa, onimuan how, and all that. So that shouldn't be a problem at all. We shouldn't have a problem. What I'm saying is that I want him to speak Hajia, when I got somebody to speak Hausa, you see, Hajia, when I got somebody to speak your language, they spoke Wale, and they spoke Hausa, you were so happy. Now you're saying that what the leader say. Did you translate that, the other ones? Very well. I was basically saying that when he gets opportunities to speak his mother tongue, those constituents will know that one of their own is here, and the necessary inspiration could be drawn. And there's a need for us to spice it, this whole process with our Ghanaian language. Enough of the brofo, and all that. Yeah.
Leader, I do agree with you absolutely. What I'm saying is, if Honorable does that, I would like him to have it in English so that it can be captured in the report. That's basically.
Chairman, you are a good man. There's no problem at all.
All right. Okay.
So
please go ahead.
Go ahead and answer that in Gomwa.
Thank
You are
you,
not
Mr.
going to
Chairman.
speak Fanti. You are going to speak Gomwa.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Nkrumah Kwan, Fiti Chirinkwanta, request opinion. Okwan wongo do that.
O constituency one ankasa nyina Gomwa West. Akwan to them, the entire constituency. Akwan to them.
Gomwa West.
Hold on, leader. I don't want to be doing this, but your question, which is being asked in Fanti or Gomwa, for us to know the questions you are asking, for which he is providing answers for, we would like to have your question that you ask in English. As well.
What is the state of your roads in that constituency, Gomwa West constituency?
Mr. Chairman, Gomwa Akwan ni nyinara nye.
Now, within the past 8 years, referring to the Akufo-Addo administration, were some of the roads done?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
In English, please, leader, before he answers.
Yeah, I said it in English.
You said, is it the same one?
Yeah, the second.
Okay.
Okay.
So you also do it in English so that we can capture the conversation.
Mr. Chairman, within the last 8 years, a section of the Gomwa Ankamo to Gomwa Isikuma Road, just about 3 kilometers of it was started. This is a 15-kilometer road, but about 3 kilometers was started.
Are there some ongoing projects in terms of the road, ongoing road construction that the contractors are yet to complete?
Mr. Chairman, all roads that were started even in 2020 were not completed. They were all abandoned. However, in the last 2 weeks, the Gomwa Asen Township Road, the contractor has returned to site and is working on it.
Can you say that in your mother tongue, that answer?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. From 2020, Akwanya, every 2020, Akwanya Abansha say ordinance Akai, a bit there, Mankwadi Road, Abrekum Road, Ankamu the Rampon Road, Asen Township Road, the Makwani Yinara, contractors in Wufido Sanda Ben with Choka, Nemum, a year now to be able to say to me, and a year contractor was Asen Township Road. On the work of the Ori and Wejuma, or Sede, which are the company, which make good order mine.
So this contractor who is back on your road is still yet to be paid, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Your first term as a member of parliament, what were some of the support you received from government for your constituents? Say that in your mother tongue.
Mr. Chairman, my first time in Parliament, I buy them war bar my constituency. My common founder, I buy UTI, the member of Parliament. The brown Brabia also to the UTI, UTI. The common fund on ban the brown. Internet, I don't know Mamma common fund, educational fund, a gets fund, and a health insurance, social intervention. And the Brabia also there, Oban. Mr. Kambi Mabdi Juma, Ogumawes.
Honorable nominee, if you don't say what you've just said in English, it will not be captured. That's your choice, basically.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I indicated that during my tenure, my first tenure, I received, the support I received from government was basically the common fund, the District Assembly Common Fund, the GETS Fund, the NHI Fund, and then the Social Intervention Fund.
Please share with us the projects you undertook with this support.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, within my 4 years tenure, every community in Gumwa West, and I took some projects there. Some has to do with support for community center. Some has to do with school renovation. I also did even some chip compound that I started, some health facilities that I renovated, some health equipment I supplied, and then support to students, and then other young people, support to start business, and then for training.
Did you receive street lights from the Ministry of Energy?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Yes, Honorable Chairman, I did receive street lights.
Year on year or just once?
Mr. Chairman, I received 3 times.
And these street lights, Honorable Petu, respectfully, the member who says he received 3 times, and you are saying twice, are you the one who received it? These things must stop. You are not the one I'm posing a question to. He says he received 3 times on oath. You are sitting there saying that twice. I mean, why this? Please. He's capable of answering his questions.
Honorable Leader, your point is well taken. Please, members.
You are a friend of the committee. Chairman,
please, there's one meeting, one vetting. And it is the responsibility of the nominee to answer the questions that is being asked. And honorable members should know better and know the rules that the honorable nominee is capable of answering the questions that are put to him. So I will urge you to stay away from communicating with the nominee because the nominee is on the oath. Thank you. Leader, please continue.
So the support in terms of street lights from the Energy Ministry is not part of the Common Fund, GET Fund, NHI support, as well as the SIF support. It's not part of those you listed earlier, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Correct. Honorable nominee, you have stated as hobbies reading, traveling, and teaching. Let's stay a bit on reading. When you say reading, what and what do you read?
Mr. Chairman, I read any literature that that comes to me, I read them.
No particular interest.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Can you share with us any book you've read and lessons you've learned from that? The title of the book and the story and what you've learned out of it.
Mr. Chairman, I read Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe.
What lessons did you learn from Things Fall Apart? But before the lessons you learned, just share with us a summary of Things Fall Apart.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There's one interesting thing I learned in the Things Fall Apart. The summary. Mr. Chairman, I learned about the character. The summary, I would actually put it around the character of Okonkwo.
When did you read Chinua Achebe? I just want to know when you read that. Yeah. Answer the question, but I want to know how long ago did you read this Chinua Achebe? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I read Chinua Achebe some 5 years ago. However, when I became a member of parliament, I have been doing so much reading. So I don't get time to do the regular reading that I used to do, because I have to read other stuffs and also have some academic work along the line too.
You must have some memory of what the I haven't taken over. I have just come in. Leader, I haven't taken over. I just want to substantiate what is just said. And I'm saying that if you read it about 5 years ago, that will determine your recollection, unless maybe you have a, what is it called, a photo, yeah. But answer the question so that we'll know how simple or how you struggle to recollect things. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. So that is where I said there's one section of Chinua Achebe's book which I took very much interest in, and has to do with how we see people who come around us. He talked about when you do an invitation and you bring people together to actually feed them. It doesn't mean that they cannot buy food for themselves, but it's actually for the good of it. So as a person, I believe that any time that you get people to come around you, it is not because they want something from you, but actually to show solidarity and also to portray our culture as Africans and that receptive life that we live.
You earlier referred to Okonkwo. What have you to tell us about Okonkwo?
Mr. Chairman, I just indicated that Okonkwo's love for people and the quest to always bring people around him is something that I have learned from him.
You mean Okonkwo's love for people and to say it again?
Mr. Chairman, I said Okonkwo's receptive life that is always bringing people together is to show love to them. It's something that I also have learned.
That is what Okonkwo, that's how Okonkwo is portrayed in Things Fall Apart. You mean the book written by Chinua Achebe? Would you want to have an opportunity to refreshing your memory now, or will you prefer that you stay clear of this Chinua Achebe book? Since it's been 5 years since you said you read it 5 years ago. I can move away from it if you don't immediately recollect. Do you remember anything about bravery?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I do.
And that bravery is associated with who?
It's associated with Okonkwo.
Now you are back home. But this love for people and all, anyway. You said 5 years ago, so it's okay. At least you remember the bravery part of Okonkwo. The chairman says that perhaps you refresh your memory,
Yes,
and after this vetting, you
I
come
grant you the leave to go and refresh your memory and meet leader, a week or 3 weeks later, to have a private discussion with him on Okonkwo. So I will urge leader to move away from the Okonkwo subject. Thank you, leader.
They said a man's skin must be rough. His smile must be brief. You remember that one?
I do, Mr. Chairman.
You remember that one?
Yes, sir.
And his food must be what?
I don't remember that part.
Okay. So keep that one in mind. Was Okonkwo very proud of his dad?
Mr. Chairman, kindly come again.
Was Okonkwo proud of his dad, the man who gave birth to him?
No, he wasn't.
Why?
He felt his father was weak. He felt his father didn't exhibit the bravery of a man.
Oh, now you are back home. You see, I'm bringing you, but now you have got into your comfort zone. So after I wasn't being hard on you. All right? So, having read Okonkwo's, having read Chinua Achebe and Things Fall Apart, what have you to share with the youth regarding the lessons you learned from Things Fall Apart? Things fall apart, the center cannot hold, the falcon cannot hear the falconer.
Leader, I think I appeal to you on the Okonkwo issue. But since you are Okonkwo, I just want to tell you that in the same Okonkwo, it says wisdom is like a goat skin bag. Each man carries his own. That's by Okonkwo. So take a cue from that.
Chairman, this nominee doesn't need to be held. He's capable. Just don't worry yourself much. He's my junior brother, and he knows that I won't put him in harm's way. I just want him to demonstrate his ability to withstand the pressures of public life. It is your first time, correct? Your first time in public life, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Have you done any business of your own and on your own, proud to occupying this high office? Yes, no?
Yes.
Tell us about that business.
Mr. Chairman, I am actually, before coming to Parliament, I worked as a corporate executive in the downstream oil sector. Along the line, I had some personal businesses in the sector.
What were those personal businesses?
Mr. Chairman, I had some retail outlets and do petroleum transportation.
Retail, did you register those businesses? Those retail outlets business, did you register them?
Mr. Chairman.
Did you, sorry, let me put it correct, rightly. Did you register an entity to do a business in this country? Sole proprietorship, partnership, limited liability company. Which of these did you do your business under?
Mr. Chairman, my business I did before coming to Parliament was solely I do build and then lease out the property. So it was purely
Wait. Mr. Richard John Mensah, wait. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Proud to this your current position, are you able to share with us any business that you had initiated, done on your own, not working for somebody, your own business?
Mr. Chairman, I did business as a dealer with my company with a notice of my chief executive.
Right, so let's deal with the dealer. As a dealer, which entity did you register for the purpose of the dealership? Was it a limited liability company, a partnership company, or sole proprietorship?
Mr. Chairman, I did it as a personal business, which wasn't registered.
Meaning you didn't pay taxes?
Mr. Chairman, I paid my taxes as part of my personal taxes. All taxes were paid.
So, which year, from which year to which year are you referring to? Which period did you pay those taxes? So, you mean the profit you made on those dealership business, the retail outlets selling petroleum products, you earn some profit and pay taxes on, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
From which period to which period?
Mr. Chairman, I did up to 2020.
From when to 2020?
So, Mr. Chairman, the business is such that as a dealer, there is a margin that is given to you. As and when you make profit, it is paid. Within the period 2018 to 2020, that was when I was active in the business. But then the business had gone down.
Not a problem. Pay attention to my question. I don't want us to stay too long. So, you did that business between 2018 and 2020, correct?
Mr. Chairman, that was when I was actively involved in it.
That's fine. So, if we give you the opportunity, would you be able to furnish us with the taxes you paid on those business within that period? Not now, before your confirmation. Can we have those taxes to include in our reports?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Leader, you need a leave from me for that.
I agree. Chairman, thank you so much. Yes. So, but he's answered us that he will make that available.
Right. Since he's answered, granted, after your answer.
Then you were also talking about building and selling. So explain that business to us as well.
Mr. Chairman, it's not a housing building. It's the same retail business because you have to build before you can be given the dealership.
Build what?
I'm saying that the retail, this I was selling. So now that I am a member of parliament, I cannot actively take part in the retail business. So I actually lease it out for somebody to operate.
And you mean building a retail outlet, filling station, you have not registered it? Is that what you are telling the country? That you build a retail outlet, doing dealership, filling station, and it is not a registered entity? That's what you want to tell the country?
Mr. Chairman, retail outlets can be registered in a person's name.
You have it registered in your name.
I mean, sorry, Mr. Chairman, you can actually get a permit of a retail outlet in your name.
Yes, so all the retail outlets that you built, you have them in your name, correct?
Mr. Chairman, I have one retail outlet in my name.
When did you get that permit?
I took the permit in 2016.
And you have that permit still with you?
So, Mr. Chairman, currently it is not run by me. Permit every year annually is renewed. So the current operator will actually register the permit in the name of the operator.
So, with the leave of the chairman, we'll be happy you furnish us with the very permit that you had in your name at a later date, since you may not have it here. Very well. Honorable Nominee, please answer as I have given you the leave.
So, Mr. Chairman, my old permits in my name are still, I still have them. Even though some, mostly when you do, the permit is given to you, it is kept at the station. So I have to actually call for it.
So this program you call Master of Arts, Energy Law, what does it entail?
Mr. Chairman, it actually deals with the whole energy sector, that is the downstream, the upstream, and then electricity.
Proud to you joining the NDC fraternity. Were you an MPP member?
Mr. Chairman, I have never been a member of the MPP and I've never bear a card of MPP.
You've never borne a card? You mean?
Never.
Okay. So, so you were not a card-bearing member of the NPP, proud to join NDC?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Now, one of your referees says that when you were in school, you were paying the fees for some of your colleagues who were struggling with their fees. You must be a man who embraces charity, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. When I was doing my first master's program, I used to support my colleagues.
And your constituents, with you going to the energy sector, should expect more, correct?
Mr. Chairman, my constituents know that I'm someone that if I have every opportunity, I will help.
So they should expect more, correct?
Mr. Chairman, I'll ask my constituents to be moderate because the economy, the economy that we have now. No, not. We are talking about money economy, not. I'm talking about the money pocket economy.
Explain what you mean by money economy.
When I say money economy, it's the money in your pocket. So there's not much money in my pocket, so I want them to be.
No. I'm not talking about now. Now they will believe you, but they would understand you. Now that you have not entered the energy ministry, but you are going there, you're going to be a board member here, there, deputy energy minister. You're saying that they should moderate? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Should every constituent in need expect your support to the extent that you can provide, irrespective of partisan colors?
Mr. Chairman, this is something I have done even when I was not a member of parliament. But as I always say that it is as and when I have it available, I would always make sure that, irrespective of your party affiliation, I will give any needed support.
Some constituents who were interviewed as part of the due diligence we did claim that sometimes you are not reachable. It's a general sin that all of us cannot escape. What assurances have you for them that you would have a system in place for you to be reached?
Mr. Chairman, I have noted this. However, Mr. Chairman, I have a system, even when you call and you don't get me. Before midnight, I return every call that I have missed within the day. Maybe when I call the person back and then he doesn't, his line is also not active, I may lose that opportunity. However, getting into this position, I know there will be a lot of calls besides the work I have. I'll put in place mechanisms that will make sure that I'm able to reach out to my people.
Let's deal with ECG. You earlier said that ECG needs to be privatized. Explain the form of privatization you are suggesting for ECG.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the whole involvement of the private sector in the ECG, I am not privy to it. I was only sharing a view that we may look at the billing and then the metering system and also the collection, that we can engage the private sector at least to ensure that some inefficiencies in the system, they can help us plug it.
So, you believe that there are inefficiencies at ECG, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Can you share some of the inefficiencies?
So, Mr. Chairman, as also a consumer of power, and then having been a member of parliament, there are places I've been to that people have complained that they have meters, but nobody comes for the bills. So sometimes you'll be there for 3 years, and then they come with a huge bill, which the people are unable to pay. I think this is also some of the inefficiencies that I've identified.
Would you agree to a suggestion to the effect that there must be prepaid meters across board? Every ECG consumer must be given a prepaid meter.
Mr. Chairman, I do agree that prepaid meters should be actually be installed, at least to help curtail some of the losses that we record.
How proactive would this be considered? Because it's a major drain on us as a country. I hope you know that.
Chairman, I just want to find out if the meters, the ECG prepaid meters is a drain, or the absence of it is a drain to our coffers.
Well, you said earlier that there's a problem with the billing system. And sometimes it takes a year or more, somebody has not been billed. There are all manner of illegal connections. People who are even billed sometimes do not pay. But if you have a prepaid system where through technology consumption is monitored, the inefficiency you are talking about can be addressed. That is what I am trying to ask you, whether in that context you can assure us of a proactive approach in dealing with this situation?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that with the prepaid meter being installed across the country is a very good step. However, it's one thing installing the prepaid. It's another thing also people even getting the opportunity when it comes to paying or even buying the paying in advance, because there are instances where people have to go and queue before they can buy credits.
No, we passed that stage long ago. No. Don't take us back. I mean, the queuing for credit, where your credits get exhausted, you finish, and you have to sleep in darkness till the next morning, unless you are not in Ghana. Don't take us back. There's nothing like queuing. Please be up to date. Bring your attention to this engagement. And don't generalize. Bring your attention to this engagement. I'm laying sufficient foundation to guide you. But don't talk about a situation where people queue. That era is way gone. We don't queue to buy prepaid credits, units, they call it, and all that. So please, Honorable, you buy from your phone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know in my house in the constituency, I buy on the phone. In my house in Accra, we go to the vendor and pay for it. That is the issue that I'm actually pointing out.
But so don't say there's queuing. There's nothing like queuing for whatever you want to describe it, but there's nothing like that. I mean, it's a matter of fact. Only yesterday, I was chairing that board. So you are going there. Don't let us create a certain impression. However, Honorable, there's something I want to share, and it's for you. This is not a question. You see, we as a political class, I believe that the way we act, the public servants, the civil servants, watch us and sometimes they laugh. We say all manner of things about ourselves, and we go and meet a system that we are unable to implement. And even where we want to implement a new, policy, there is a certain level of resistance, and it becomes political. Today, you are hearing of ECG importing items, and those items staying at the port for a long time, and in the end, customs will confiscate, sell to individuals, and they resell to ECG. I hope you've heard that story.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
But the little investigation I did, at the time I assumed the chair in July, when this thing came to attention, was that the same setup will tell the political head that, oh, this is the system already there. And when you want to disturb it, they will either use the union or use the media to frustrate you. Then when things go bad, it's the same politician. I'm sharing this with you for you to be fortified well enough so that when you get there, you will be bold to lead real reforms in that sector, because only one deputy minister is going to support the sector minister. So you have a lot of responsibilities. So if you are not assertive, you spend your time there, come back, and it's the same political football. Is an advice well taken?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
I tried it at Ghana Water. I rather became the victim. And it makes me sad as a politician because we don't lend support to each other for real reform. So the time comes, election, and the structural defects, the inefficiencies become the subject matter of campaign. And when we are done, the same thing remains. A new person comes and they will be laughing at us. And 4 years will come again. And then the inefficiencies become the basis for another campaign. So I pray that this privatization that the previous administration had initiated, which some way, somehow, it became political, and the previous administration had abandoned. In your time, when the same forces of darkness in the sector are frustrating you, you'll be bold to implement the privatization there. Because I support the privatization, which privatization would bring efficiency. All right? I hope you'll be bold to do that.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Support your minister. Because there's a serious drain on us as a country. And if we, you and I, do not stand firm as leaders, the system will crash on our heads. Now, that said, let me ask you about the industry proper, where you are going. What do you bring on board? What do you bring on board as a deputy energy minister? What should be the expectation of your minister?
Mr. Chairman, I am going to assist my minister in every way that I can to ensure that he also succeeds on his mandate.
Give us some of the sectors under your ministry, the agencies. List some of them for us.
Mr. Chairman, we have the GMPC, we have the Ghana Gas Company, we have Tema Oil Refinery, we have Petroleum Commission. This is within the petroleum sector. We have GOIL, Ghana Oil Company. In the power sector, we have the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG. We have NEDCO. We have the Energy Commission. We have the VRA, Volta River Authority. We have the BUI. And then I think these are the few I can mention, but there are lots. There are about 16 agencies under my ministry.
So you have 16 agencies.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And what would be your contribution in enhancing the efficiency of these institutions? Because I know as a deputy minister, you are going to serve on the boards of quite a number of them by way of the law that governs the operations of these agencies. You would have to be on some boards. What do you bring on board?
Mr. Chairman, I cannot speak to I cannot speak to the fact that I'm going to serve on any board, but I can assure that wherever my boss, the sector minister, places me, and whatever tax he gives to me, I'll be very diligent and make sure I deliver to the best of my abilities.
So share with us the energy policy of your party. Share with us your energy policy.
Mr. Chairman, the sector, if I derive it from the president,
wait. the energy policy as contained in your manifesto is what I'm referring to. What is the energy policy as contained in your manifesto? If you've not read it, say so. Let's abandon it. If you want to refer to your manifesto, say so. Because I have your manifesto with me. If you don't have yours, I will give you your manifesto so that you say so. You know, let's be clear so that I don't waste my time on that.
Mr. Chairman, I've not appraised myself with the whole policy.
Mr. Chair, that will be all for the nominee.
Thank you very much, Leader. I have number of times can't recount. I know that Leader and the MPP party and members of parliament are a bit infatuated with the NDC manifesto. And you keep asking us to produce our manifesto. But, as a leader of the party, yes, I'm just, please, relax. And many times you ask us to produce our manifesto. I have said that our manifesto is not a driving license. So we don't carry it with us that you will be asking us to produce it. But if you have an issue in it, please, by all means, but to get our nominees to produce the party's manifesto, you ask them to produce Ghana's constitution, I can understand. But the party's manifesto, we don't know you have a copy. So, please, Leader, I will appeal to you when you ask your questions on our manifesto. But, please.
Chairman, you want to be nominated?
Honourable Member, you are out of order. Honourable nominee, congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
I'm actually wrapping up. And I'm not asking you a question, actually. I want your view on something. When Ghana became an oil-producing nation, under His Excellency, our former President, President Atta Mills, who is no longer with us, he set up commercial producer of oil. He set up 3 funds, basically not alone, but with the government at the time. I'm sure you are aware of the ABFA, which is the I have been given a list of people, friends and family who came to support you. And I'm going to call out their names and thank them for coming to support you. I have here on top of my list Mrs. Anita Pencil Jan Mensah, which is your spouse. Nana Kofi Kwa II, Odikro of Gomwa, Jokwa, representative of the Gomwa Ejumakun Traditional Council. Nana Apaba IV, the Queen Mother of Gomwa Imperium, I'm sure I've got the name right, Imperium, representative of the Omahini of the Ejumaku traditional area. Nana Obu Mensah IX, Odikro of Gomwa Mampon, is also a representative of the Gomwa Ascent. Dr. George Blankson, the former Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority. Our own Nana Sambu Butler, who is the chairman of the Central Regional Accra Caucus of the NDC. Mrs. Sati Okran, Central Regional Accra Caucus, NDC. And then Reverend Loviana Lamle Lamti, Minister of the Prince of Peace Methodist Church, Tabora. Then we have here our own Professor Richard Kofi Esielu, our Central Region Chairman. And then Honorable Theophilus Edu Mensah, a former DC from Gomwa West. I have here others as Mr. Nicholas Owusu, who is the MD of Desert Oil Ghana Limited. Alhaji Muhammad Kasim, who is the constituency chairman, and Nana Ama Ankwa II, who is the Queen Mother of Gomwa Abura, who is a representative of the Gomwa Asen Traditional Council. I would like to thank you for coming to support our brother on his vetting. Nominee, I think you have exhausted all the questions. So at this juncture, I would like to discharge you, and you will hear from the committee. You are duly discharged. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, as the nominee takes leave of us with his entourage, I will ask the clerk of this committee to usher in the next nominee. Thank you very much. Honorable members, I will call this meeting to order and ask the clerk of the committee to administer the votes with the nominee. Thank you.
I hereby administer the votes to the nominee.
I, John Matthew Kofi Seto-Bello,
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
Touching the matter in issue.
touching the matter and issue
Shall be the truth.
shall be the truth,
The whole truth.
the whole truth,
And nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable nominee, are you ready?
Almost.
That's good enough for me.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much,
My brother.
Chairman.
I want to give you the opportunity to say a few words about yourself in 2 or 3 minutes, please.
Thank you so much. My name is John Matthew Kofi Seto-Bello. I was born in Accra, raised in Tema. I went to Christ the King International School, went to Achimota. I've always had a passion for agriculture and film. I did my first film in 1991. I got into farming in 2006, 2007. That's about the same time I also got into agriculture. I've always had a passion for agric. I've always followed my passion. I found myself in politics from 2012 onwards. 2016, I campaigned around the whole country for President Mahama and the NDC. 2020, I contested for the Iowa West Warbon seat. I nearly won. I didn't win. 2024, I tried again, but this time around, I was successful. And so my life has been a little bit of up and down, but all in all, I'm grateful for today. And then also, I'm also grateful for the parents that I have who are not here with me today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will invite the Honorable Minority Leader for his initial remarks. Thank you.
Honorable nominee, on page 2 of your CV, you have written your educational background, and you're saying that you did GIMBA, BA in Public Administration, 2016 to 2022. Correct?
Mr. Chairman, I think that was a mistake. It was 2016 to 2020.
So, you will take the leave of chair to amend it?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
I haven't given you the leave yet.
Sorry.
Honorable nominee. And I grant you the leave. Leader, I think it's set up audio.
So, Honorable nominee, back to the question. Page 2 of your CV, you have the BA in Public Administration, 2016 to 2022. Is there anything you want to do on the dates?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I think I would like to correct it. It was 2016 to the year 2020.
All right. What about the same GIMPA, Masters in Governance and Leadership? Are the details there correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
So you have the certificates for that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And your transcripts?
Yes, please.
Please, what about the 2023 to 2024 Masters in Natural Resources Law, University of Ghana School of Law?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
You have the certificate?
Yes, please.
When did you graduate?
2024.
When in 2024?
I don't remember the exact month, but I think it was around May or April or May.
Before I go on, I acknowledge a senior colleague, the Honorable Minister responsible for Agriculture, Food and Agric, correct? Yesterday, his bosom friend and brother was here, and I didn't see him. I didn't see him. I didn't see him, but he was here. You also say that you did your WASI 2000 to 2002. Is it 2 years, or explain?
So there's a mistake there. It's actually SSC. So it was from 2000 to 2002. That's 3 years. So 2000. Yes.
So it means that January to December,
Yes,
January to
yes,
December.
Please. Yes, please. So it was
Oh.
SSC, not WASI.
So can you take the leave of chairman?
Please, leave is granted.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So, you said your origin is Oti, and the hometown is Lipe Bala, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
That's where daddy comes from,
Yes,
or both?
That's where my father comes from.
Okay. And quite interesting. You speak English, of course, that's no doubt. You speak Fanti, that I attest to it because you speak Fanti with me. You do tree. Is your gun 50-50 or 100%?
My gun is 70-30.
Which of them? The Osu one or La or Gamashi gun?
The
or
Oponglo
the
one.
Kanishi?
The Oponglo one.
The Oponglo gun?
Yes, please.
Okay. Then your Ewe?
My Ewe there, respectfully, I think I'm better than you small.
Oh, Nyatepea?
Merukui.
Oh. So, you mean you are better than me? Small?
If my answer wouldn't mean you would worry me, then I have to be.
Well, it's unfortunate. Mine was 100%. But when they took me back to Winneba, the Futu, which is a Guan language, took away the Anlo. And by the time I got to St. Augustine's, that was the first time I met the language again. And it couldn't come again, unfortunately. Because I lived in Chame and started my school in Chame. I lived with my grandma. Yes, and I could speak Manlo fluent, but I'm trying. You know, I'm trying to build my capacity on that. So help me.
Mr. Chairman, maybe we can take classes together.
Very well. So, and then your French is also 100% or
That's
on
about
pay?
On pay, 20%. Enough to buy something and sell something. And
D'accord.
Merci beaucoup.
And you have said that you work as CEO Melo Foods 2015 July to present. And then KSD Ventures 2014 present CEO. And if I look at the scope of business, the KSD Ventures, you are talking about supply of building materials and production of ice for fresh fish mongers. If you come to the Mellow Foods, packaging, distribution of ginger, cabbage and snails, distribution of approximately 50,000 crates of eggs weekly, distribution of 600 kgs of fresh goat's meat and beef weekly, engaging over 7,000 smallholder farmers in 11 regions, and overseeing daily activity of 34,000 bed capacity poultry farm. So, you are a poultry farmer?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
How many people do you employ at Mellow Foods?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Directly about 10, indirectly over 100.
What about KSD Ventures?
Just 3.
This is a business you own as a sole shareholder?
Sole proprietorship.
So it's a sole proprietorship
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
business. Okay. Where do you live?
I live in East Legon, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, rented property or your own property?
It's
Family property.
It's a leased property.
Okay, so lease for how long?
For 20 years.
I see. But you've not provided the address here. You only have your postal address.
It was an oversight, sorry.
So would you take the leave of chair to amend those records?
Leave granted, nominee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That all the amendments you do, when we are done, you would get it done by your secretariat and furnish them to us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Let me be very honest with you. My first encounter with you, I found you very humble and respectful. Your language, use, and how you carry yourself. What do you say to those out there who may have an otherwise perception about you? Because this our enterprise is driven by perception. Perhaps some utterances we've made in the public space, how we've gone about things and all, drive them into a certain direction. What have you to say to those out there who may not know, as I know, that you are humble and you are respectful? And I would want the records to reflect that this is what I know about you this day. What do you want the public to know about you?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for the kind words. Like they say, opinions are like noses, everybody has them.
That's not an appropriate simile. Opinions are like noses, please. Just...
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, I mean...
Everyone has a different opinion of other people. And it's just human nature that before you meet somebody, you probably have a different perception about them. And I've had that quite a number of times where when people meet me, they'll ask me, they'll tell me that they didn't know this was how I was and that they had a different perception about me. Some too feel that perhaps because of some movie roles I did, I might be a little bit rude and arrogant and so on and so forth, but I'm far from that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You've not said anything yet. You've not answered my question. You were only interested in making a case. This is Mr. John Mello. Tell us about yourself.
Mr. John, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. John Mello is a humble and kind man who believes in love. He believes in peace. he believes in humanity, and he has love for everybody. Thank you, Mr.
Are
Chairman.
you a Catholic?
A staunch Catholic.
Ah, okay. Are you? Do you have a firm belief in the rosary, the power of the rosary?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have one here. Yes.
You brought your rosary?
Yes, please.
Are you familiar with St. Francis of Assisi's prayer?
No, that one I didn't get there.
Pardon?
But listening to you in some of the interviews in the vetting committees, yes, you've had a lot. You always say that prayer.
Lord, make me an instrument of your peace.
Yes, please.
Okay. You may want to read that prayer. I mean, it inspires me a lot. That great saint.
Thank you.
Right. Do you belong to any of the Catholic lodges? You know, the Catholic Church has some fraternal societies. The lodge, the Catholic Church also has lodges. The Knights of St. John's, the Marshal. These are lodges in the church. Do you belong to any of them?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Apart from being a master when I was young, I don't currently belong to any society in the Catholic Church.
Are you a regular
churchgoer?
No, I'm not going to use churchgoer. Are you an active member of the church? And if so, which parish do you belong?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Just be honest. You've been honest thus far. I mean, just be honest.
When I was in Tema, I attended St. Joseph's of the Catholic Church.
Before, currently, let's move because you are the last for the day.
Yes, please.
And we want to finish quickly. I mean, currently, where is your parish? You've not been to church for a long time. You know, let's close this matter so that we make progress. You know, let's close this matter and then we make progress.
Mr. Chairman, I currently attend Mary Mother of Good Counsel Church Airport.
Regular?
It depends on your definition of
No,
regular.
okay, so I will define it for you. Do you pay your tithe in the church? They have your records of tithe
My
pay?
dues, yes, please.
You regularly?
Yes, please.
So who is the parish priest there?
Mr. Chairman.
No, John, not Gojidi.
Mr. Chairman.
John Gojidi. John.
Mr. Chairman.
John
They just
Gojidi.
changed him.
Okay, John, the one they just changed, the one who has just been transferred. Give me his name. You know, Archbishop is listening to us. He's watching, and I know many Catholic priests are watching you and I, including all the troublesome Catholics.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, as Member of Parliament of Ayawa West Wogon, I do attend several Catholic churches in Ayawa.
John, you know, you are an honest person.
Yes, so far.
You have your rosary with you.
Yes, please.
We have all sinned.
Yes.
And falling short of the glory of God.
That's true.
Don't do this and that. The man you are going to work with, Eric Opoku,
Yes.
he doesn't like this.
Yes, please.
If it is this, it is that.
Yes.
And then just own up, let's move away from there.
Yes, please.
The Mary Magda of Good Counsel.
Yes, please.
That you say you attend.
Yes.
Is that your parish or not? Be honest with me.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do pay my dues.
No, we dues, Catholic dues.
Yes.
Dues at the place.
Church. Yes.
What about tithes?
Oh, I pay my tithe.
At the same place?
Yes, please.
But
I spread it across the other Catholic churches.
No. Now, please. The point is that the father who has just been transferred.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you now his council at large? Do you remember the name? The one you say has been transferred?
Mr. Chairman, no, please.
The new one who has come, do you know his name?
No, please, I've forgotten.
Okay. Now, are you familiar with the marshals? The marshals, are you familiar with them? Can you say a bit about the marshals as a fraternal society in the Catholic Church?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am familiar with them, but I'm not familiar with their dealings.
Okay.
What I do know is that my father was a member of the Knights of St. John's.
Okay.
But apart from that, I don't know anything about them.
Okay, so the Knights of St. John's, you must be a member. Though you are a Catholic, before you become a member, you have to be initiated. Yes, you have. Not any member of the Catholic Church can enter their assembly, their meetings. And then when you are entering, there is a knock to identify you as a member who has gone through the initiation process. You know that?
Yes, please.
And then there is a handshake, a grip, to identify you as one.
Yes, please.
All right. And that is not unchristian, correct?
Correct, Mr.
Yes.
Chairman.
Yes. So it's a fraternal society within the church.
Correct, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Let me ask you about your referees. You've written 2 names. How do you know the first one?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first one has been my friend for over 10 years, and he knows almost everything about me. The second one, too, the same.
When you say the first one has been a friend, specifically what do you mean?
Mr. Chairman, a very good friend.
So you think that a friend with whom you share the same esprit de corps is okay to be your referee? I mean, in your own view.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
I hear you. What about Samuel Dafoe?
Same, Mr. Chairman.
Who is he to you?
He's also a very good friend who I've known for over 10 years.
Okay. What does he do?
He's into oil and gas, Mr. Chairman.
Did you at any point attend the KNUST?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
What course did you read?
I studied civil engineering, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so why did you divert from civil engineering to public administration? Because in your educational background, you didn't list it at all. But in your leadership, you said KNUST, civil engineering students, assistants, you said organizing secretary, civil engineering students, 205 to 206. Then you also said Queen's Hall Planning Committee, 204 to 205. So I just wanted to understand why you were saying